Welcome back. Well, many jobs can be physically strenuous. So what happens if you get injured at work? Who's going to pay your medical bills? Well, here to help answer some of the frequently asked questions is Mike Bertling. He is with McClario, Helm, Bertling, and Spiegel. Good morning to you, Mike.
Well, good morning, Tiffany. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining me today. I think this is a topic that many people think about and they don't know a lot of the answers. So I'm glad that we're addressing it today. Let's start with just talking about what is considered a work-related injury.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I think everybody knows the injury where you might fall and break something, or you might have a crush injury on your hand or foot or whatever. And that, obviously, when that happens, boom, that's an injury. But workers' compensation also covers injuries that come on over time due to your exposure on the job. You know, a person could have a bad back, and then because of heavy lifting for years on the job, the back is worsened because of the extreme labor. That can become a workers' compensation claim too. And also, a person can have a back that has arthritis in it simply because of just aging, but if that arthritis is aggravated because of their exposure to the workplace, that then too can become a workers' compensation injury and should be followed up on. So it can either be a sudden injury, or it can be something that comes on over time due to workplace exposure.
See, that's interesting because in essence, that could be a kind of a pre-existing condition that's exaggerated by the job that you're doing. And I think a lot of people wouldn't think about that. So should you report all injuries, and at what point do you do that?
Well, for sure, if a person's working and you're picking up something and you strain your back and feel some pain, you should report it to somebody. Over the years, I've had hundreds of people who, and this is pretty natural, they figure that the pain will go away in a few days, or they'll just kind of work it out, and they don't say anything, and then they wait a few days or a week, and then they finally realize it's not going away, and they report it, and then the workers' compensation carrier says, wait a minute, this didn't happen on the job when you said it did because you didn't say anything. So it's almost better to be safe and report injuries. Hope they go away, and if they go away, great, but at least if they don't, you're protected. The injury that develops over time is a little more difficult. You have to be perceptive and notice that by the end of a certain workday or end of your workday, you're experiencing increases of pain. And if that's related to work and doesn't happen during the weekend when you're not working, then that is a work-related condition, and that should be reported too.
That's a good distinguishing factor there. I like that. I think you talk about being protected, and so many people are worried about backlash or, that fear of being punished. Can you be punished as an employee for making a claim?
No, you can't. The law is clear. You cannot be punished. You cannot be sanctioned by your employer or the workers' compensation carrier for making a claim. However, this is the real world, and I've seen many, many times when an employee unfortunately makes a claim, their supervisors kind of take a different view of them. And, and that's somewhat understandable, because if a person's injured, they're going to be missing work. It messes up scheduling, makes it difficult for the employer. So sometimes there's some natural blowback. But when you have an attorney and you're being counseled, they can watch out for that and advise you and make certain that this doesn't become more serious and really affect your job.
So you should hire an attorney. You kind of answered that there. I guess a lot of people would say, well, should I just kind of report this and go on my way? You suggest hiring an attorney.
I do, and the way it's set up in Wisconsin, there really is no reason not to, and I'll explain that. If you hired a lawyer the day after you were injured and your workers' compensation carrier just paid your claim and agreed to it and paid everything they were supposed to pay, there is no attorney fee. You're not paying the attorney anything. The attorney is only compensated if there's a dispute, if there's an argument. So I have many cases where a person comes to me and I don't even make myself known to the workers' compensation carrier. I just am in the background so I can answer my client's questions, and then if something does happen, if there is a dispute, then I can become actively involved. And then if I do go out and get compensation, which was in dispute, then that's when the attorney fee applies. And in Wisconsin, it's a limited attorney fee. By statute, by law, it's 20% of the amount in dispute. And the amount has to be approved by the Department of Workforce Development. So you're pretty much protected, and there's really no reason not to see an attorney because they can advise you even before a dispute arises.
So there's no retainer fee. If somebody seeks you out, kind of has you in their corner, even sometimes silently, as you mentioned, for a while, just to kind of see how it goes, they don't have to pay you in that time, that interim, to be on their side advising them.
No, they can call me 10 times a day and I'll talk to them. And I don't charge them for my time. It's only if there's a dispute.
That's great. I think it's wonderful, super great information for people to make sure that they're protected and doing the right thing along the way. So thanks so much for joining me today, Mike. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Here's some information for you. If you're traveling, be sure that you download this free guide right now. It's the mistakes, it's from McClario, Helm, Bertling, and Spiegel. It's called, again, the 5 mistakes to avoid after a crash. You can download it from their website, which is mcclario.com. You can also schedule a free consultation from their website as well. So do that too, mcclario.com.